Today, it's all about natural language processing, NLP for short. Basically, how do we get computers to actually get what we're saying and do something with it?
Yeah, I mean, NLP, it's already kind of woven into our lives, right?
Right.
But we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it all, what it is, how it works, the big impact it's having now, and the crazy potential it has down the road. And for this, we went deep. We got those beginner guides, some seriously in-depth articles, even pulled from a YouTube video transcript, a really solid foundation for this deep dive.
The mission here is, to put it simply, to give you that real grasp of NLP. And without overloading your brain, so let's just jump right in. What is natural language processing at its core?
Well, in the most basic terms, it's a subset of AI, artificial intelligence. It's all about enabling computers to not just see words, but to comprehend, interpret, manipulate human language. And that means both spoken and written.
So you're saying this is a big step towards truly intelligent machines?
Absolutely. Being able to process and understand natural language is a huge deal if AI is going to actually grasp the world and, well, interact with us meaningfully.
One of the things that really clicked for me in the YouTube video we watched was the analogy. They said humans, we listen, we understand, and NLP is about getting computers to do the same thing.
Exactly. Now, to understand why NLP is so important, you got to think about the difference between unstructured text and structured data. See, us humans, we communicate in this really open, unstructured way. Imagine saying something like, add eggs and milk to my shopping list. For us, that's simple.
Yeah, we just get it.
But a computer, that's just a bunch of random words, right?
Yeah.
Computers love structured data. Super organized information, that's easy to process. Think about your digital shopping list, neatly laid out, eggs, milk.
So NLP is like the bridge between how we naturally speak and how a computer needs to understand it.
Precisely. And this translation goes both ways. When you take unstructured text, our messy human language, and turn it into structured data, a computer-friendly format, that's natural language understanding, or NLU.
Okay, NLU, our language to computer language I'm following.
Then you've got the flip side, natural language generation, NLG. When a computer takes structured data and creates human-like text or speech, imagine a chatbot answer your question. That's NLG in action.
So we've got NLU, making sense of what we say, and NLG, allowing computers to talk back to us in a way we understand. But for now, we're focusing on that making sense part, the NLU side.
Right. Now let's zoom out a bit. NLP is a core part of AI, as we said, but it doesn't work all by itself.
So how does it connect with other areas of AI?
Well, NLP depends heavily on other AI subfields. Machine learning, or ML, is absolutely crucial. ML is all about those algorithms that let computers learn from data. The thing is, they learn without us having to program every single rule.
You can't just program every rule of language, right?
Exactly. Now, within ML, you have deep learning, or DL. It's kind of like ML on steroids, if you will. DL uses these artificial neural networks, super complex things, to analyze patterns in data. It's revolutionizing NLP, making things like language translation way better, even generating text that sounds almost human. It's like teaching a computer to understand the subtle nuances of language, like tone, just like we do.
So ML is the basis for learning, and DL digs deeper for those trickier language tasks.
Yeah, great way to put it. And don't forget, AI is a big world. There's computer vision, so computers can see. You've got robotics, expert systems, the list goes on. And the really interesting thing is multimodal AI, where systems are starting to combine different types of understanding, visual and textual information, for example. NLP becomes super important for humans and robots to actually communicate.
It's all linked together, fascinating. It's not just computer science, though. There's a linguistics side to this too, right?
For sure. The best NLP systems, they combine computational linguistics, machine learning, and deep learning. Computational linguistics, that's the bedrock. It's about understanding human language in a rule-based way. Grammar, sentence structure, even how sounds and words are formed. It gives us that initial framework for how language works.
That's the starting point, the baseline for
Yeah.
understanding.
You got it. Then machine learning comes in with its statistical models, right? It lets NLP systems pick up patterns, make predictions from tons of text and speech data, different techniques for different tasks like categorizing text or analyzing how positive or negative it is. The key here is learning and getting better with more data. And like we talked about, deep learning takes it even further. It allows for the learning of very complex features of language directly from the raw data, especially with these sophisticated models.
So we've got the rules, the established stuff, and then the data-driven learning. Powerful combo. Okay, so we've got a decent idea of what NLP is, how it fits into the world of AI, but how does it actually do what it does? Is there some magic formula?
It's funny you should ask that. The YouTube video we watched had a great way of explaining this. NLP isn't one single algorithm. It's more like a bag of tools. You pick and choose the right tools for the specific task you're trying to do.
A toolkit approach.
Huh.
Okay, that makes it feel less mysterious. So what are some of the key tools in this NLP toolkit?
Well, let's start with tokenization. That's basically breaking down a chunk of text into smaller bits. These bits are called tokens, and they're usually individual words. So remember that example. Add eggs and milk to my shopping list. Tokenization would split that into 8 separate tokens. Add eggs and milk to my shopping and list.
Seems pretty straightforward, but I bet it gets complex, right? What's next in the toolkit?
After tokenization, you might use something called stemming. Stemming is all about reducing words to their root form. You strip off prefixes and suffixes. For example, running, runs, and ran would all become just run. The goal is to standardize words, focusing on that core meaning.
So getting rid of the extras, what else?
Another key tool is lemmatization. Now, this is a bit more nuanced than stemming. Lemmatization aims to find the dictionary form of a word, called the lemma, based on its meaning and its grammatical role in the sentence. So, for example, the lemma of better is good. Better is just a different form of good. Stemming better might end up with just bet, which is a totally different word. Lemmatization considers context.
So stemming is more mechanical, while lemmatization actually takes the meaning into account.
Exactly. Then there's part of speech tagging. It's all about figuring out the grammatical function of each word or token in a sentence. Is it a noun, a verb,
Yeah.
an adjective, and so on?
Mm-hmm.
Make, in the sentence, I'm going to make dinner, is a verb. But in what make is your laptop, it's a noun. Part of speech tagging helps the computer understand how words are being used.
Context is key with language.
You got it. And last but not least, named entity recognition. It's about finding tokens that refer to real-world things, people, organizations, locations, dates, all that. So I visited Arizona last week. NLP would pick out Arizona as a U.S. state and last week as a time reference. Super useful for pulling out key info.
Okay, so we've got tokenization, breaking things down, stemming and lemmatization, getting to those root forms, part of speech tagging, figuring out the grammar, and named entity recognition, identifying the important bits. Great overview of the NLP toolkit. Now, where do we see these tools in action, like in our daily lives?
NLP is everywhere, honestly. Search engines, Google being the big one, right? NLP helps them understand what you actually mean when you type something in, even if it's a whole question. Features like query completion, spell correction, they use NLP. And when you ask Google a question, it's NLP that figures out what you're asking.
It's not just about matching keywords anymore. Google really feels like it gets what I'm looking for.
Yeah, totally. And then you've got virtual assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. They use NLP to understand what you're saying, figure out what you want them to do. Email filters, too. They use NLP to catch that spam.
Spam filters! Lifesavers, let me tell you.
And think about predictive text or autocorrect on your phone. That's NLP suggesting words, fixing your typos, and language translation apps, Google Translate, DeepL, they're all powered by NLP. Remember that example from the YouTube video about the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak being mistranslated in the past? Hilarious, but it shows you how important context is for good translation. That's where advanced NLP comes in.
That's a classic example of translation gone wrong. Shows you there's more to it than just word swapping. So those are the everyday examples. What about in different industries? Where is NLP making waves?
I mean, it's making a huge impact across the board. In customer service, you've got this rise of chatbots and virtual agents. They're using NLP to handle basic questions, give instant support, and if it's something complex, they pass it on to a human agent. More efficient, and customers tend to be happier.
It seems like chatbots are everywhere these days. Sometimes it's hard to even know if you're talking to a bot or a person.
Exactly. It shows how far NLP has come. Healthcare is another big one. They're using it to go through mountains of medical records, doctors' notes, research papers. It can help with diagnoses, treatment plans, even discovering new drugs. NLP can pull out key info from all that unstructured medical text, find patterns, predict potential problems with drug interactions.
That could be revolutionary for improving healthcare.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In finance, NLP helps with fraud detection, analyzing transactions. Risk management, too. They use it to monitor news and reports to gauge sentiment. It can even be used for automated trading based on what it learns from the data.
Making the financial world a little more secure and a lot more efficient. What about other industries?
Well, HR is using NLP for recruitment. They analyze resumes, match candidates to jobs. The legal field, they're using it to review documents, contracts, research. Marketing and sales teams, they use NLP for sentiment analysis, understanding customer feedback, running personalized campaigns, even generating content automatically. Kia Motors, for example, they're using it to analyze customer feedback on their cars. And government agencies, they're using it to manage public comments more efficiently. It's really being applied to improve efficiency and understanding across the board.
Wow, it really is everywhere, from our everyday web searches to these huge industries like healthcare and finance. So looking ahead, what's next for NLP? What can we expect in the future?
I think the future is super bright for NLP. It's going to change even more about how we live and work. We can expect better communication, with real-time translation getting better all the time. Imagine language barriers just disappearing, global collaboration getting easier. We'll probably see more automation too. NLP taking over those language-heavy tasks in various industries, making things more efficient. Expect more personalized experiences as well in our online interactions, marketing, education, even healthcare. Large language models will be key for that. NLP will also change how we analyze data, helping us get more insights from all that unstructured text. And it won't replace human creativity, it'll boost it. Imagine professionals in all sorts of fields having NLP tools to assist them.
It sounds like it's going to become even more integrated into our lives. Are there any specific things that experts are predicting we'll see in the near future?
Yeah, within the next 5 to 10 years, we should see NLP models getting more accurate, broader in what they can do, and easier to use. They might even start to reason better, going beyond just simple tasks to solve more complex problems. Expect to see more specialized models too, tailored for specific industries and jobs, which means they'll be even more effective. They'll also get better at integrating with other data, like images and audio, leading to a much richer understanding. Conversational AI, think chatbots, they're going to become more natural, more aware of context, even more tuned in to our emotions. NLP for a wider range of languages will improve too. We'll see a better understanding of cultural nuances. In healthcare, advanced clinical decision support systems powered by NLP are going to be more common. Voice biometrics for identification and security will probably become more widespread. And sentiment analysis, figuring out how people are feeling based on what they say, will be used more and more across different fields. And of course, we could expect a lot more investment and growth in the whole field of NLP.
That's a ton of progress to look forward to. What about the super cutting edge research? What are the big trends right now?
Well, in the research world, advancements in transformer models are a big thing right now. They're working on making them more accurate, able to handle longer chunks of text, and capable of more complex reasoning. They're also working on better integration with computer vision and speech recognition, making conversational AI more natural, better at handling back and forth conversations, that's another focus. Understanding the subtleties of language, things like sarcasm or humor, that's a big challenge they're working on. Developing NLP solutions for specific industries is gaining traction too. And then there's the issue of making these systems more efficient, able to run on devices with less power. Open source NLP tools are becoming more available, and that's a huge driver of innovation. Real-time language translation keeps getting better, and using reinforcement learning to train NLP models is opening up new possibilities.
So much innovation happening, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with language and computers. Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive into natural language processing. We've covered what it is, how that NLP toolkit works, its huge range of applications, and the amazing developments coming in the future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think you're leaving with a much better understanding of NLP, and you'll be ready to follow all the new developments as they happen.
Absolutely. So here's our final thought for you today. With all these advancements in NLP, what do you think will be the biggest way it impacts your life in the next decade? Think about the potential opportunities, the changes it might bring, and if any specific part of NLP we talked about piqued your interest, go explore it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.